How dare you, miss? Also, hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Embroiled. Or embroiled. How we doing? All good? We're having a good time today. Wednesday stream was wild. Things happened. Actively avoid any knowledge of the English language. Yes. I tried to prefer it to you. But as far as you're considered, it's immaterial. So yeah. Welcome. How are we all doing? Are we having a good time? Yeah. Let's get sound. I still get sound. The music on the title screen of this game doesn't loop. So it's just silent. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. There we go. How we do? How do we? How well? How? So I've been drumming all day, which is a physical exertion my body's not been used to, and this morning I had 3 cans of Diet Coke in quick succession, which was probably a mistake. So I'm a bit buzzy, and I imagine there's going to be a crash probably about halfway through the stream. But just so you know. Yeah. So welcome to the game. If you don't know what this game is, this is Over the Alps. We started it on Wednesday, and we play a detective, secret agent person, sent from Britain to Switzerland on 1939 to do something. We still don't know what we were supposed to do because we missed our contact and we ended up getting embroiled in a Nazi kidnap plot. I'm good, sleeping from the COVID juice. Oh no. I'm glad, it's good you got it. Hooray. Felt like you've had similarly weird days. Marvellous. It happens. We've been very competent in our task. We got arrested for stealing a bike. No, we got arrested for stealing a car. And then almost arrested for stealing a bike. I can't remember. We had to steal another car for some reason. I don't know. We're trying to travel across Switzerland. Basically, okay, so here's the basic deal. It's this guy called Vitoli. He's Italian. His daughter was kidnapped by someone, Italian forces under Mussolini, who took his daughter to Switzerland. For some reason, she wasn't well guarded. For some reason, she knows more than she's letting on. I don't know what's happening. So we went and rescued her, which was really easy. But then the Nazi Wolf, who's it seemed to be a very nice lady until she stole somebody. Kidnapped, that's the word I'm looking for. Sounds very confusing. It kind of is. I still don't. I've probably missed a lot of things and done a lot of things very badly. Either way, there's been a bit of back and forth of trying to get this girl whose name I've forgotten at the moment. Young Italian girl, the daughter of Vitoli. We just arrived. We just went through the Gotthard tunnel to wherever the name of the place is, Göttingen or something. I don't know any of the names of these places. And we were just about to get train tickets to Zurich, which is where we want to end up. But as I was getting tickets, Vitoli got run over, presumably by Wolf, and the girl got kidnapped again. I sound like a drunk fisherman at a bar. It's about right, yeah. For some reason, is this game, yeah. There were also cows wearing flowers on their head. That was nice. Yeah. So let's see where we are with this. The case of the chateau. Vicoli, not Vitoli. That's whatever. We're in Göttingen. And you see, she was kidnapping a goat. Why was there a ghost, you ask? Well, that's where the train tickets come in. The chase are in Göttingen, which is nice. There's a race happening here or something like that. I can't remember exactly what's going on. I guess we have the book of all the things that have happened. We could probably, yeah, we got a diary. Okay, so Milan prison escape. Is that who we're... I forgot about that. Right at the beginning, there was a newspaper saying that somebody's escaped from a prison in Milan. I don't know. I met Fraulein Wolf aboard a train. Turns out she was a Nazi secret agent. I I met the Italian Vicoli, who turned out not to be the contact I came here to meet. We stole a car. Hitler's not doing good things. This is pre-war, but I think they've just invaded Poland, so probably war now. Yeah, somebody's holding his daughter. A castle in Bellinzona. Why this matters to Britain's interests, I don't know. I still don't know if that's a thing. We did the thing. Fräulein Wolf kidnapped the Italians. Germany invades Poland. That was fun. The one thing I did do correctly is I caught up with them, and before I went in to see them, I cut the fuel line to their truck so that when she tried to escape, she couldn't. And then I stole the Italians, and it all went well. And then we found some cows, and they were nice. No, hang on. There's stamps. How do I just go forwards? Nah, here we are. Louisa says she remember a tunnel heading north out of Irolo. That was the Gotthard tunnel. She claims she saw it on a map and the Italians had. She knows, she has a very good memory, and she knows a lot of things that she shouldn't know. She's like 23 years old, although she acts like a 10-year-old. I don't know what's up with her. Also, the achievements in this game are stamps, because this entire game is told through postcards. Very, very detailed postcards. This was also made in, as I discovered at the end of last stream, this is made in something called Ink, which is a markup language which I very briefly learned not too long ago to make choose-your-own-adventure games. I believe it's made by the company who developed Ink. So, hi Kiro, how you doing? And you thought that picture of the cow covered in flowers was some sort of many-eyes Eldritch Horror? No, it was just, there were quite a lot of cows and they all had flowers. It was nice. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's see stuff. So this is the map of this part of the game. So we're at Gershenen, we have to go to Furka, I guess. Then Meringen and Interlaken. It's between two lakes, I guess. Lauterbrunnen and then Jungfrau Jock. Again, sincere apologies to anyone who actually knows how to pronounce these words. And for the accents that I will do over the course of this game. Ding ding. Right. we're doing this again. Okay. We have a chance to do this again. Nobody's been run over yet. It's fine. Everything's fine. We've just arrived at this city. Everything's grand. We took lunch at a hotel perched at the base of one mountain with a view across the valley to the next. We tore through our starters and soup. Louisa wiped both her hands on a napkin, then thrust one of them in my general direction. We have still not been properly introduced. My name is Luisa Maria Alessandra Facoli. I can't do an Italian accent. Don't worry about it. These are the options we can have. The stamps tell us sort of the characteristic of the answer. So there's the good one, which is where I say my name is Smith. There's the gentlemanly one, Asherton White. Or there's the kind of sly one, which is a pleasure, so I don't give anything away. Occasionally we'll come up with things in the story that test how many of these sorts of stamps we've had, because that's going to explain our personality. Oh yeah, I should mention, it was about this point in the story that Christy was saying, oh, I really like Vicoli, he seems like a nice person, I bet he's going to get killed as the story goes on. And then 5 minutes later he gets run over by a car. So I blame Christy, personally. But you do not have a name, I suppose, she persisted. The German called you Smith. What's your first name? Everybody just calls me Smith. Just call me Smith, all my friends do. Everyone just calls me Smith. It's fine. Oh, you mean like a schoolboy, she replied. In England, the teachers call boys by their last names, don't they? I read that in a book. Yeah, sure you did. Louisa slurped her coffee and then pulled a face. Is Smith your real name? Best if you don't know my real name, this is the spy one. Yes, it is. Or aggressive. I don't think I've ever chosen an aggressive option. That's what I answer to. Best if you don't know my real name. Smith is a very suspicious name. It's a name that unmarried lovers use when they want to spend the night together in a hotel. Facoli looked at his daughter in some alarm. In the novels, Papa, obviously, she added, patting him on the arm. Please excuse my daughter, Vicoli put in. She forgets her manners sometimes. I find manners to be overrated, I've noticed, and it's most refreshing. These times call for plain speaking, a bit of honesty. Let's do all the cat ones. I think that's what we were doing last time. Try and do it the same as we did before. My name is Luisa Maria Alessandra Vaccoli. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Well, he's still alive. He's here. Can't help your divine gift. Don't blame me. It's fine. Smith is a suspicious name. It is because it's so common. It's like, oh yeah, you're called Smith, right? John Smith. I find manners to be overrated. Then you will like my Louisa, he laughed, patting his daughter on the shoulder. Louisa shrank into her chair with embarrassment. She skewered a melon ball, then chomped it down like a noisy child. You speak excellent English? Again, that's surprising. So tell me, Louisa, if you weren't escaping for your life, what would you be doing now? Or are you with the fascists? Are you for Mussolini? So yeah, this takes place 1939, just in case. That wasn't clear. Yeah, if you weren't escaping for your life, what would you be doing now? Oh, Louisa likes me. Nice. Studying, she answered. My daughter is training to be an engineer, Vaccoli began. They do not usually accept women, but they've made an exception for my Louisa on account of her special gifts. He beamed with a father's pride. My Louisa's memory is exceptional. How do you say in English? Exceptional. Louisa shot him a dark look as though he'd shared a great secret, but said nothing. Coffee came with slabs of chocolate from a famous chocolatier in the Swiss town of Schwyz, allegedly. Vaccoli broke his in half and put the other half on his daughter's plate. I stirred my coffee and gazed out at the view. We will get you somewhere safe, I promise you. Well, I know what's going to happen next. I'll be suspicious. Well, not suspicious. Sly. That's me. You with the fascists? Definitely something to throw into a casual conversation. Again, this is prior to World War II, so I guess there's different connotations. But I think the thing... She did seem... Okay, so when she got into the back of the truck with Wolf in the front, she did seem apprehensive at the fact that there was a German involved. So maybe I don't think she is with the fascists. But I don't know. We have a huge chin. I like to think we have a small face. Also definitely look like we named Smith. Exactly. I will never have children, Aubrey. Aubrey's who I'm talking to, or who I'm sending these postcards to. I have seen too much of the world to attempt to guide anyone through it, but all the same, I was touched by Vaccoli's affection for his daughter. Control sees the world as a chessboard in black and white, but for me, it's all a play. The hotel bar swilled with millionaires and debutantes. From the window, we had a view over the cars assembling for the Gershenen to Interlaken road race. No one here seemed to have a care in the world. There's a train to Erstfeld in a few hours, I remarked. From there, it's an hour more to Zurich. We're almost there. And will Zurich be safe? Vaccoli begged. I do not know if we can return to Italy. Again, what do they do in Italy? As safe as anywhere can be these days. I have people in Zurich. This is the entertaining one? Your troubles will finally be over. I still don't know quite what this means. I rarely pick it. Safe as anywhere can be. That feels a bit... I have people in Zurich. I probably do. I don't know. Good, good, there's Vaccoli. Good, good, said Vaccoli. But Smith, how can I ever repay you for what you've done for us? Just look after your daughter. Be more careful next time. Look after your daughter. Ah, but she looks after me, he laughed. That's why I needed her back, you see. Louisa rolled her eyes but smiled. Oh, Papa, be quiet. I've never seen a man so delighted to be silenced. Fatherhood is quite the drug, it seems. We need to get some We need to get some tickets, Louisa declared, rising to her feet. I'll go. Stay with your father, or I'll come with you. And if the Fraulein appears in the queue behind you. No, she's going to run you over. I'll come with you. My bodyguard, she smiled. Very well. She took my arm. I'll stay right here, Primo asserted, looking supremely comfortable where he was. For now, we set off for the station. This is the train. I know that it's because it's a game and the postcards are a mechanism, but imagine somebody putting the whole novel on a postcard. It does. It's a bit. The setup to this game, the opening cutscene, which I would show you, but it completely screws with the resolution, is just of people buying a house presumably in Switzerland, I don't know, and just finding a cellar with wine in it, and finding a bunch of postcards. So I guess we're them reading these old postcards? I don't know. I think the masks one is possibly a bit passive-aggressive, maybe. Maybe sort of hidden emotions or something. Ding ding. Let's get some train tickets. This is going to go perfectly well. I know your plan is to go to Zurich, Louisa began once we were walking, but I've seen a map of this region. I think there are some better options. Trust me, Zurich's the only option. I'll explain once we're aboard the train if you like, or your father will. Is this another one of your secret tunnels? There's another of your secret tunnels. An angry silence. I tried mollifying her a little. Your trick finding us that tunnel in Arola was very helpful, I said, trying to sound encouraging. I don't think I ever thanked you for that at the time, but I'm saying it now, alright? She hurried around in front of me and shoved me in the chest. Why do you insist on talking to me like a child? She demanded. I'm 23 years old. You aren't even so much older than me. 23? I had assumed younger based on precisely this kind of behaviour, in fact. Louise, you're making a scene. I have no luck with women in train stations, Aubrey. Yes, the train station was where I got arrested first time, so that's bad going. It's just you find it less funny if it were letters, but postcards, they aren't big. It's scrolling text on a postcard. Someone's just cramming entire conversations, I know. I'm 31. I don't want to give her information about me. I have no luck with women. Let's go with that one. Louisa's losing faith in me. Yay! I remember I picked the bottom one last time and bad things happened. So Louisa shouted at you. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing happened. Her voice was steadily rising, a stream of insults coming out, hands waving all around. Then, just like that, she stormed away. I should have gone after her to apologise, but I didn't. I was damn well going to get those tickets so that we could get the train and out of danger, and I'd just about reached the station when I heard it. A scream, then the roar of a car engine. I walked out onto the road already knowing it was too late. I raced back down this race, why not? Doing all the masks. Few people were crouched either side of something lying on the side of the road. I grabbed a stranger. There was a car. Which way did it go? Or I raced over to see who it was. Louisa? The picture was clear enough at a glance. Let's have a look. Raced over to see who it was. No, Vocoli. There was blood across his face from a cut on his forehead. He was gasping. He was calling out to the lady... he was calling out for the lady in a car, a woman said. But she reversed into him. Then she drove away. She was looking down the southwest road as she spoke. I pushed the onlookers to reach his side. The man's name is Primo Vocoli. See, he's well catered for. I took off on a run. Let's make sure he's looked after. Not catered, cared. Give him some nice sandwiches. The man's name is Primo Vocoli. See, he's well cared for. Of course. But where are you? I was already gone. There was not a moment to lose. And this is where we left off. Was that a baby crying? It was Vocoli screaming, apparently. Okay, and guess we're off. That's a bit of an awkward route. I was behind the wheel of a racing car in stealing another bloody car. How many cars am I going to steal? That's 3 so far. I got arrested for the first one. And, oh yeah, the Swiss police are chasing me. A complication. Damn car wouldn't start, Aubrey. The engine coughed like a geriatric, turned over and went back to sleep. I had to get it going. The Fraulein was getting further away by the minute. A test of finesse or a test of brute force? I have never used brute force, so we're going to have to try finesse. Hopefully it works. Success! There we are. When I'd hotwired the car, I must have fried a circuit somewhere. A few seconds of nimble-fingered fiddling was all it took to get the engine roaring again, and off I went. All cars. Make sure this man gets some kippers. Yeah, we ate some kippers earlier on, and we've basically been burning them off ever since, walking across the entirety of Switzerland. Right, behind the wheel of a racing car. Let's go. Marvellous. Here they are. The police are chasing me. The police are searching for me. A bystander spotted the suspected Gershinen having a tremendous row with his Italian companion. We asked the ticket vendor where he was headed, and luckily she remembered which ticket he brought. The Noose Titans. Not great. Only one on this map, though, so that's nice. Screechy screech. Oh, the audio mixing in this game's kind of all over the place, so it might be too quiet or too loud at times. In a hot-wired Maserati, souped up by some harebrained Swiss mechanic under orders from a millionaire idiot. An idiot who didn't deserve a car like this one. The Fraulein drove fast, but I could drive faster. I might have died on that road. Let's say, sure. I'm going to have the car, why not? Perhaps having it stolen would teach the blighter a lesson. The transmission worked only half the time. The gears changed with a squeal. For all I knew, the damned caps weren't even screwed in. The car tore through the landscape like a red bullet. It was rather fun. The car made byfalls for fools, so I drove it like a fool. It was rather fun. Yeah, I'm having a good time. It was rather fun. I relaxed into the front wheel steering, leant back and... Oh, front wheel steering. For some reason I thought I said front steering wheel. It's like, there's a back one. Leant back and ran the engine hot. I tore along the mountain road at 100 miles an hour, and God forbid anyone who got in my way. Yeah, look at me go. Well, it's almost a back steering wheel. We are in the back half of the car, aren't we? I don't know what that squeak is. Vroom! Goats! God did not forbid the goat. Oh, am I going to run over a goat? I don't want to run over a goat. I swerved to avoid it. That was my mistake. If I'd blown straight through it, perhaps the Maserati would have survived. Exciting sounds. Is this what I get for talking to the goat earlier? The car flew across the far edge of the road. I shut my eyes and pumped the brake. I twisted the wheel, trying to regain control. I clung grimly wherever the car was going. I was going with it. Twisted the. I use these more than I do any other. We'll see if it works. The chassis, lightweight for speed, barely gripped the tarmac anyway. The sudden turn tilted it up, still at 60 miles per hour. A moment later, I was in midair. Everything was heat, sparks, and fury. I think the car turned over. I found myself wondering if the goat had survived. Did the goat survive? I found myself wondering if the goat had survived. I blacked out. I crashed my car and passed out. Because I was worried about a goat. Non-violent game. I didn't do anything. I might have knocked out a guard earlier as well. But he was pointing a gun at me. Although he was like 15 years old. Honestly surprised I didn't hit anything before this. Most roads weren't made for cars yet during this time. True. Although most of the journey we've had so far has been on foot. So. Meiringen. I heard a woman's voice nearby. Oh god, it's her. But my eyes weren't working properly yet. Louisa, Farrelline. Who's there? I don't know. Oh, hello. Please be slow, the woman replied, moving closer to the bed. A wet towel pressed at my brow. Here, there, it stung. You are hurt, but you will be alright, I think. I passed out again. Blech. Newspaper, 2nd of September, 1939. Withdraw from Poland or face war, Chamberlain warns Germans. In a speech at the House of Commons last night, Britain's Prime Minister launched a scathing attack on Germany. He warned that if German troops were not withdrawn from Poland, Britain would honour its pledges to its Polish ally and initiate military action against Germany. I don't know why I said that so strangely. Oh, things are heating up. On the old political stage. Goodbye, birds. I was in Meiringen, 30 miles from where I'd crashed. That's a pretty long way. I've been scraped up off the roadside and taken to the Hotel Leopold to recover. Meiringen is a tiny town that bustles with the rich and famous. The woman tending me was my rescuer. That's nice. Miraculously, I had no broken bones. That's nice talking about the woman. How's she doing? She looks nice. An old bird with roomy eyes. I'm trying to be nice here. She said she'd seen the smoke rising from my motorcar, the car that had caught fire eventually, and worried that it might be the result of a bomb. She had paid for my room in this her hotel and nursed me herself. Her name was Matilda, she told me. I thanked her, but I said I had to be on my way. I must pay you back, Matilda. I should. They're very slowly heating up. Very, very slowly. It is another Stephen King novel. She's going to break our legs and force us to write postcards for her. We're doing a lot of postcards. So, it's fine. Also, why are you reading those short stories? I watch Inside Number 9. I can't complain. I must pay you back. I must pay you back. You've done me a great kindness. She waved my remark aside. None of that. I'm enjoying spending my late husband's money on a troubled young man. I might make a habit of it, she grinned. It would have infuriated him. I was warm, Aubrey. Content. Look at my contented face. I am so content. Eating Zopf with honey on a tray in bed and sipping coffee. What's Zopf? I don't know what Zopf is. I searched my memory for something. I found I'd overlooked some small yet crucially important detail. And then I remembered. Vicoli, Louisa, the Fraulein. Why I'm here. I had been out of action for at least a day. And I had lost all three of them. Great. Wonderful. It's more like he's constipated. I mean, I don't know what's in Zopf, so... Ding, we go out and leave. 10 minutes beyond Meiringen, the fork roads into two. One road leads to Zurich in Germany, the other to Bern and eventually France. The Fraulein was most likely going for the German border. Fraulein would have places to hide in the Alps, or it would be foolish to guess which road they've taken. I mean, she would have places to hide in the Alps. We didn't find her in an abandoned house. We found an abandoned house and then she found us. She probably would. She's a spy. She probably have she knows what's going on. Safe houses she could disappear into, like a bug under a stone. But I don't know where to look. I need more information. Perhaps some old-fashioned detective work should prevail. Oh, yippee. I went to talk to the patrons of the hotel bar. I approached the hotel concierge. Patrons, I guess. Detective work? Should we try detective? We're probably going to be bad at detective work. Because I have been a terrible detective so far. Tire tracks, signs of any kind of hasty entrance or exit, the usual sort of thing. There are a few market traders set up on the roadside selling bread and fresh fruit and cherries in barrels. I scoured the drive, the bushes around. What? Scoured the drive, the bushes around. Sure. It's grammatically confusing, but whatever. But I found nothing. No scraps of cloth, no earrings, no Mauser. Perhaps the Fraulein had not even stopped in Meiringen at all. Bugger. Oh, bugger. There's a light on. I prowled the hotel grounds. Okay, so I guess we'll talk to the patrons then. Not that I really expected the Fraulein would have stopped in for a drink, not really her style. Brought a round of drinks for everyone. I asked the barman. I'm looking for my wife, I announced loudly. Barman probably knows stuff, right? He shrugged. A lot of people come through here. Hello. Sorry, a lot of people come through here. As for me, I don't remember a German woman, said a robust voice a few stalls away. But there was a man who came through yesterday. Perhaps he was with her. Swiss lady, her hiking poles leaning against the bar, drinking a Weissbier. Oh, really? Oh, hang on, I should... She's putting on a voice. It's fine. Don't worry, but she's in disguise. Worth noticing, was he? You mean he was handsome? No, but there was something off about him, she replied. He drank like he had 5 minutes left to live, one in each chain. Did he say where he was going? This is the Fraulein. Did you catch his name? Was there a girl with him? As well as a woman? You're on the trail of an old bus here. She drained her glass and clapped it onto the table. I hope you find her. The man did not look at all stable to me. Maybe that was a coincidence that it looked exactly like the Fraulein. Front of that hotel looks like an uwu face with the 2 windows and a door. Kinda. Yeah. She was the bum. I think she was there. That was her, wasn't it? The concierge grew suspicious of me. He called the police. Naturally, I tried to run. I didn't get far. The police were waiting for me. All truncheons and nasty smiles. 2 of them got me under each arm, and I was dragged like so many potatoes to a nearby beer house. Not again. In a dark corner, a cigarette flared. You again, spat the voice of my concealed friend. You must insist on being the worst spy we have. I've forgotten my voice, so I speak like this now. I'll try harder, shall I? Let me go. I've got work to do. You want me to beg for my life? I'll try harder, shall I? The controller's not impressed with me.
You might try harder.
Another tap of ash.
Maybe I should let my lot do to you whatever it is they do to spies and control and send someone better to finish off whatever it is you think you're doing.
He didn't wait for me to reply.
Give me something I can use.
A long stagnant pause. So this is our, I guess, somebody who works for the British agency, and they're not impressed with whatever the hell we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. I don't think this is our mission. We're just here. Don't have time for this now. They're getting away. There's an Italian, Primo Viconi. This might be important. Fraulein has been seen heading for Interlaken. There's an Italian girl, Louisa Vicoli.
Go on.
I'm not sure exactly, but I think she must know something of value. The cigarette flared.
Well, we've seen heading for Interlaken.
You're sure? You've been watching them. You could pick them up. Gordon is disappointed. I guess they can't get involved, really. You sure?
Of course.
The cigarette flares.
Well, you better run along, ain't you, old man?
I'm an old man. Off we go! To Interlaken! Da-da-da-da. I got arrested again. Yay! Are we old? I don't know. I don't think so. A postbus ran to Interlaken daily. Does that mean I'm going to steal it? But we were 31. Maybe he's really young. Complication! The boiling over tensions in Europe seem to have made even the Swiss twitchy. The harmless little postbus was stopped at a roadblock and searched by a soldier who asked to see my papers. Test of charisma or a test of stealth? I think I'm charismatic. I think I've been using this a fair old amount, but whether that means it's going to win... Success! There we are. I patted my pockets and realised my fake papers had gone missing in the last few days' chaos. I gave him my biggest, brightest smile and told him I was terribly sorry. The soldier grumbled but waved us on through. Contina. We must contina. He's 5. Well, we go... Oh, another complication. Oh, a postcard. The road was dreadfully scenic, Aubrey, the sort of route poets would lose their marbles trying to describe. But I won't bother. I didn't see any of it. The sun set across the mountains in a whiskey-coloured blaze, and I didn't drink a drop of it. One question consumed me. Where was the Fraulein taking Louisa? Who was the man with them? Oh, there was a man, wasn't there? Sorry, I thought that was Vicoli. He got run over. Yeah, there was a man. Okay, was it Hitler? Was all this my fault? Where is probably the most important question at the moment. This wasn't the way to the German border. She must have some other direct destination in mind, somewhere between here and France. These were my thoughts as I tapped my fingers and willed the postbus to go faster. Why is there a soldier in the middle of Switzerland controlling the road? It's 1939? There's things are going on. Bad things are happening. The police are searching for me, though. Yeah, yes. We found the stolen car, or at least what remained of it, just burning wreckage at the bottom of a ditch. No sign of the suspect, though. Against the odds, he must have somehow escaped with his life. Just about. Interlaken, we are between the lakes. Interlaken marked. Nice. I'm glad it did. Switzerland is 1, neutral, and 2, why would soldiers be controlling a random road in the middle of the country? Look, they wanted a story. They'd be at the borders of anything. There have been soldiers around before. There might be Italian soldiers. There were Italian soldiers here earlier. I don't know. Okay, well, let's go here. Let's not go here. Let's go to the market. Let's not go to... Let's go to the hotel. I arrived into Interlaken in darkness, yes, it looks very dark, and checked into the first hotel I found. I was exhausted, still reeling from that crash from the Furka Pass. Once in the room, I collapsed on the bed in a heap, barely even kicked off my shoes. My eyes closed and all I could see was Primo Vicoli's face. Europe at war! Britain and Frankie declare war on Germany. Honouring their treaty with Poland, France and Great Britain have declared war against Germany. In a speech given today by the British Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain vowed that Britain and its allies would prevail against a regime characterised by brute force, bad faith, injustice, oppression, and persecution. Cool. Can I go? I can go to the market now. I ate quickly and then headed over to the town's covered market. If Wolf had come through into Larkin, she may have stocked up on supplies. After a few false starts, I struck gold in the stall of an old boot seller. A tall blonde woman with brown-haired girl, you say? Ah, perhaps you mean the nurse. She came through here with her ward yesterday. They were going to Lauterbrunnen, just south of here. Her ward? You're certain? What's in Lauterbrunnen? That's a good question.
Racing mountain now? The doctors seem to think it would help with the girl's, mental condition.
That's a good way to excuse the fact that she's probably screaming her head off. Doctor? An Austrian doctor? So the girl's mad, is she? What did they buy? Good question.
Crampons for snow climbing.
Snow climbing? Where on earth were they going? I guess we can leave now. Okay, off to Lauterbrunnen. That's south? Okay, we're going up south. I continued south on foot. Or is there more here to do? What? Oh, no, resume. There is not more here to do. Let's go. Off to Lauterbrunnen. Oh, we're going. The good old times when women were mad if they showed signs of distress. But there's a man there. Clearly he's in control. Lauterbrunnen. Oh, lovely. It's an Oobs. Hello. Welcome to 1939. This looks nice. Are there any goats? I'm terrified of goats now. Lauterbrunnen was buried deep in a valley. Its streets boomed with the endless cries of the waterfalls plunging down the mountains on either side. At the very bottom of this place is a tavern with a dark corner, and in this corner were the drooping moustaches of Herr Dr. Schweiger, a broken man. I forgot about Dr. Schweiger. I'd sent him down this path when I'd stolen his car. This is the guy I got arrested for stealing his car. I don't think I ever even met him. Just... Okay, That's not a good time. We're in Switzerland, which is slightly less of a bad time, but we are chasing a Nazi, which is not a great time. How are you doing, Oops? You alright? Oh, yeah, I feel sorry for this guy. Sent down, I couldn't help but admire the Fräulein's handiwork. There's no sign of the others. I feel bad for him. I just stole his car, and now he's... I don't know, being coerced by Nazis into stealing girls? I don't know. He's depressed because he stole his car. Like, it's probably bad things are happening. But I'd never crossed paths with the Fräulein otherwise. But when he caught sight of me, he barely reacted beyond a sad sigh. I don't know. Voices. Other than high-pitched and low-pitched, I don't really have much. Yeah, fine. In the process of frantically backing up art files because your laptop is having a time. Oh no, that's bad. Well, at least you have the foresight to back things up, I guess. That's nice. Make him sound depressed. I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. Oh, it's you. If you hurt Louisa, you will be sorry. Awfully sorry about your car, Schweiger. So, Herr Schweiger, we meet again. Awfully sorry about the car. My car? Oh, no matter. I'm sure you needed it. You see, Aubrey? A broken man. What happened? She abandoned you and taken Louisa with her. Yeah, what happened? She just disappeared, he replied, like a lost child. I went to the bar to get her a gin and tonic. That's all I did. And then I came back. You honestly tried to buy Fräulein Wolf a gin and tonic? When you came back, she was gone. He nodded. He had it bad, Aubrey. Whatever Wolf has done to him in the last 48 hours, she's done it exceptionally well. And what about you? Oh, and what about you? He asked, seeming to actually see me for the first time. You hurt your head? It's nothing. I crashed my car driving over the Furka Path. I'm going to find her.
Please don't say you're going to fight me for her,
He groaned.
I don't feel like fighting.
You can keep the Fraulein. I'm here for Louisa. You can still redeem yourself. Help me find Louisa. I'm here for you can keep the Fraulein. Herr Schweiger seemed relieved.
Then you have a deal.
Ooh, we have an accomplice. You fell in love with her. I think that's the implication here, yeah. So we're off to Jungfrau Jock. Again, apologies. There was only one route out of the Lauterbrunnen, and that was up. South. Up south. Sup. Dude, she left your ass, learned to read the room. She's also a Nazi spy. We sat facing each other on either side of the train car. Schweiger looked ill, sweating despite the icy mountain air. He caught my eyes on him.
I see you judging me,
he growled.
but I do love her. I tell you, call me a fool if you like, but I do.
At least he had some spirit left in him. But surely you know she's a Nazi. You'll get over it.
You're more than a fucking fool. You're the whole damn circus.
Wow, Hazel said that with spirit. Hazel let into that one. I don't know. Surely you know she's a Nazi?
Yes, but what of it? The Nazis are uniting our German peoples. The Austrians are proud to be part of the German Reich. Is it a crime to be a patriot?
Well, there we are. Yes, when patriotism leads to tyranny and murder. I saw then that Schreider has been lost before the Fraulein met him. That's probably about it. A rejection, perhaps, some minor defeat, a lost fencing match. Something had planted hate in him like a scratch inside his belly, and it had festered over years.
You British don't understand what it was like for us at the end of the Great War. You tore our empire apart. Do we not get the right to rebuild?
Not by invading. Not really. Although we did kind of treat you like crap after the First World War. That's fair. Because, I mean, after the First World War, it was basically just royal families having a spat. And so many people died. For some reason, the word is the only word Hazel really knows how to put emotion in. I don't. I hedge around it like a frightened schoolchild. He was nodding like a proud boy telling his father what he learned in school that day. Damn it, man, can't you see the Nazis are leading Europe into another war? And then the Nazis come for you, for your family? Damn it, man, must you blindly accept everything your government tells you?
I do not have a family yet, Smith.
He replied, then put a hand on his chest.
But when do I have children?
What?
But when I do have children, I guess I was supposed to say that. I will raise them to be proud Germans. I will teach them to be loyal to the Führer.
I shouldn't have bothered arguing, Aubrey. Our way of thinking cannot be defeated by reasoned argument. It speaks only the language of violence and power. Nazism is a vicious cancer. Our only course is to sharpen the knives and cut it out before it spreads. Now throw him off a gletscher. What's a gletscher? But when do I have children, eh? I've been waiting for bloody ages. Checkmate. Oh god, it's chess. Not chess. Suddenly music. Funky music. Yeah. This is gonna stay here for a bit. Love that plucked zither sound. Damn mail keeps delaying my package. They want me to pay the customs duties on my child? How dare you? Spy setting should be going down. Yeah, I know. It does seem to be going that way, doesn't it? This doesn't look like an ordinary installation. Ooh, telescope. We rode the elevator up to the peak of the mountain in silence. At the top, I threw open the cage door and stepped out into the narrow gantry. I tell you, Aubrey, it was the roof of the world. I've never had a problem with heights, but this was perhaps my limit. Lethal drops on either side. I'll go with heights. Madman with a gun. Okay, fair enough. The view below was an enormous white void. A vast valley spanned by a frozen river of compacted ice. The Alps Glacier. I turned to look at the brick building behind me. It was topped with a telescope dome. Some kind of observatory. But there was no way the Fraulein could have doubled back and nowhere for her to hide. And Schweiger was pointing a gun at me. Fraulein's little Mauser. She gave me this. She said if I saw you again, I should shoot you. Keeping my hands up, I tried to talk sense into the man. She's using you, Schweiger, surely you see that. Let's talk about this, shall we? We're here to help Louisa, that's all. I don't think I'm going to be able to reason in with regards to that relationship. There's literally no... I don't care about bloody Wolf. Just trying to work out what the hell's going on with Louisa. Schweiger's hand wobbled badly. The Italian girl? But the Fraulein said... The Fraulein told me. Perhaps he couldn't even remember what the Fraulein had told him. Let's not do anything foolish, shall we? Don't want to kill anyone, Schweiger. That's not who you are. Let's just find Fraulein Wolf and talk about it. Don't waste my time, Schweiger. We both know you're not going to shoot. That's probably a bad idea. What happened in the past few seconds? I thought we were some sort of allies like 5 seconds ago. My guess is that he's... like, he was sort of going to take me here or something. I don't know. I think he's confused. He might be hypnotized. I don't know. This story's gone weird. You know. And within the first 5 seconds of this story, I had already hotwired a car. This guy's car, actually. I know cocaine is still in everything, Doctor, but there is a limit. Let's just find Fraulein Wolf and talk about it. Let's not do anything foolish, shall we? Let's not do anything foolish, I guess. Got the Fraulein's gun from Herr Schweiger. Keeping one hand over my head, I inched towards him and reached out my other hand. Give me the gun. There's a good chap.
But she told me... Don't you see? She told me all about you.
The gun wavered badly this time. Then he threw it to the floor as if it were hot. I snatched it up and put it in my pocket. Good. I took a deep breath. Now let's go inside. It's bloody freezing out here. I headed for the door. Okay. Yep. Entering the observatory was like stepping into the guts of a gigantic metal beast. Cables and pipes snaked from floor to ceiling. Workbenches were laid out with brass spheres, mesh boxes, mechanical contraptions, spinning discs. Charts and star maps plastered the walls. Gauges ticked, needles scratched out graphs on rolls of paper. All very interesting, I'm sure. I looked under the tables first. All very interesting, I'm sure. But none of it offered a place for someone to hide. Schweiger looked like a chemistry experiment ready to explode.
You said she would be here, he yelled. She has to be here.
There's a room above. Try up there. At the far end, a door led to a narrow balcony. Storage locker leant against one wall. I feel like he's giving me... There was a trap in the floor. The trap in the floor. Padlocked shut. I cast about for a key, but I didn't see one.
Can't you shoot the lock off?
Schweiger demanded. I could, but I don't think a Fraulein could have locked the padlock behind her. There's a room above. Try up there. At the far end, there's a room above. Try up there. Schweiger dashed up the stairs. With him out of the way, I could look around properly. Storage locker leant against one wall. I don't want to go the aggressive route. Probably should have asked him what she told him about you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I opened the glass door, stepped outside, and caught my balance quickly. I was standing at the head of a great long table. Mountains with misty heads of hair were seated on either side. What? Okay, that's a metaphor, I guess. The Alps Glacier was our tablecloth, sheer white and freshly pressed. What? 2 black ants were crawling slowly across it, one in front, the other behind. They were heading towards a small dark notch at the base of one of the mountains. They reached it and disappeared. Don't like it when the game suddenly jumps into metaphor. The meaning of what I had seen was quite clear to me. Huh? Give the poetry, Aubrey, but it was really big. I blinked, unsure if my vision were blurred by the brilliance of the ice. It was really big. You really had to be there. I would have to get down there and somehow follow them. I went back inside. Storage locker, I guess that's the only thing. The storage locker leant against one wall. I pulled it open and a pair of old skis fell out. What else could I do, Aubrey? Schweiger was distracted and there was no time to lose. I strapped on the skis and launched myself over the balcony. A moment later, I was tucking down the slope below. We coming to the end of this game. I don't have a backup game. The snow was firm, not fresh, and I soon picked up a set of ski tracks to follow. There were sledge tracks weaving in and out around them. Then up ahead I caught sight of the entrance to a military bunker carved into the base of a mountain. Some kind of storage facility, perhaps? Part of Switzerland's vast network of alpine defences. There didn't seem to be any way to approach the bunker except head on. Fraulein was keeping Louisa alive, it seemed, but for how much longer? Head on. Now this is Bond. It's gone rather Bondy, hasn't it? Previously we were just like meeting cows and goats and running away from the police, and now we're going into secret underground facilities. What's happening? If there were guards watching, I would have to do some pretty sharp skiing to stay alive, especially if they had a mounted gun. Thanks for telling me that. Is that a goat? Is that a goat? Where are you going? I approached the heavy steel door of the bunker. The off-white paint, much of it peeled and chipped, appeared yellow against the snow. What were German agents doing in a Swiss military bunker? I couldn't see any way to open the door. I stashed the skis out of sight and hunkered down, covering myself in snow. Be sneaky. I waited, like a leopard in long grass. Or a snow leopard in snow. Perhaps a soldier would come out to relieve himself. Hopefully not on me, or to scout the slope. Perhaps the Fraulein herself, having delivered Louisa, would be returning to whichever hole she had slithered out of. An hour went by, no change. I was bloody freezing. I had plenty of time to take in the scenery. I was, I realised, in the very heart of the Alps. Alone, with only a pair of borrowed skis. Not great. There's enough snow to ski, but you're not wearing a cap. Your ears are going to be frozen. I've just covered myself in snow for an hour. I think I'm just frozen at this point. Couldn't see a way to open the door. There was only one thing I could do. What? Yeah, what? Well, yeah, what's going on here? The bunker appeared old, abandoned perhaps, quietly occupied, then to serve as a covert German base. Couldn't see any way to open the door. How the Fraulein announced her visit, a specific pattern of knocks perhaps? There was only one thing I could do. I rose up out of the snow, I paced over to the door, I knocked on it. Like the clever detective I am. All the ways to die, we're going to die of frostbite. Hang on. Where are you going? I knew you would come, she smiled, although I had been hoping you would rescue me, not get captured yourself. I haven't really described Louisa to you, I think, Aubrey. Despite her tone, I could see she was tired and scared. I ignored her baiting. I haven't described Louisa to you. Tall, as tall as me, although she holds herself as if she wishes she was shorter. She has a ringed black hair and a deep-set brown eyes beneath slanting brows. When she speaks, she waves her hands about like her father. Watching her talk with wrists tied to a chair is like watching a normal person trying to talk while wearing a gag. But my wrists were tied to her chairs as well, so there wasn't much I could do to help. It's going well. Getting captured was the only way to get inside. I wondered if you had some idea of the layout of this place. Probably. She knows bloody everything. Control will want a full map of this place, I should think. Be gentlemanly. You want me to find a way out? Isn't that your job? Nothing at all in that vice-like memory of yours that might help. Yes, but I thought I'd give you a turn at it. I thought I'd give you a go. She groaned, and I could see her hands straining at the ropes trying to offer a dismissive wave. Louisa and I were tied up, side by side, to wooden chairs. They looked like they'd come from a prep school's exam hall. We were deep inside the bunker in an office of some kind. And then the bunker was large, dug into the underbelly of the mountain. Perhaps it was due to become larger. I'd seen dynamite stacked near the outer door. Great! Agent Popsicle to the rescue! Lady, we're terrible at our job, if you hadn't noticed by now, yes. So Fraulein been interrogating. What have they asked you? Don't worry, Louisa, what have they asked you?
the same questions over and over, but in different ways. I think they assume I'm some kind of mathematics genius, but a bit slow and naive, like one of those savants, said Louisa. I'm playing along with that, of course. Clever girl. Her head came up sharply. But, Papa... Was hurt, but he's getting better. Is waiting for us in Zurich. I left Gershon in a hurry. I don't know how he is. I mean, people are looking after him. That's all I know. Are you sure? She studied my face, then looked away. You don't know, do you? You've been too busy running after me. I asked someone to look after him. Our conversation was cut short. The door opened, and there was the Fraulein, that little Mauser in her hand. Hard to believe she was the same woman I met on that train from Milan. Wolf, we meet again. She was alone, I wondered. Or was she alone, I wondered, sorry. Let's say it's a bit weird to wonder a state. Ooh, okay. Look a bit stressed. Perhaps this place was barely staffed. I had seen 2 soldiers, no more. Good odds. She looks tired. Shadows under her eyes, pale skin. She seemed even a little out of breath. I'd worry if I were you, Fraulein. Not looking too... No, she's not doing good. She looks like... I would not be surprised at this point if this game just went, she'd injected herself with the super serum and was turning into a colossus. Should we be gentlemanly and provoking, or should we be spy-like and professional? She was the Winter Soldier all along. It's Marvel now. No wonder I don't understand it. I'd worry if I were you, Fraulein. Oh, she looks fine now. It was almost as if she had no energy for sparring. And why is that? You don't imagine I came alone, do you? Because we're going to escape. We're going to destroy this illegal base of yours, and you along with it. You don't imagine I came alone. No, provoke Fraulein Wolf. She's dangerous, man. She fixed herself up good and proper. That hair's now looking as good as ever. That collar, no longer torn. Brilliant. Let's keep up the spy act. I don't know. Don't imagine I came alone, do you? I saw Louisa stare at me. The poor girl had genuine hope in her eyes. I felt bad about that, but it was useful because the Fraulein saw it too. Tell me, Mr. Smith, do you play chess? Of course, and I'm very good at it too. Only with worthy opponents. It's a game with a ball, isn't it? My version can be. Only chaos chess, Fraulein. I don't know. Only with worthy opponents, or that's the game with the ball. Should we stay completely? I'm not playing your game. Every time I played your game, bad things have happened. So I'm gonna play baseball. How droll. I suppose you're one of those card players, she replied with contempt. From a locker at the back of the office, she produced an old board and a set of heavy metal pieces. She pulled over a chair and set it down to use as a table. You and I will play. If I win, I will shoot the girl. If you win, then we will play again. She set her gun down and began laying out the chess pieces. Or she can give me the information I require. Did you hear me? I don't play chess. You never let us go whether we're at Louisa's information. You're afraid I'll win. That's why the stakes are so one-sided. I accept. I accept, but not on those terms. Do you play chess? That's a game of the ball, isn't it? I guess you're a card player. We're both idiots. It turns out we are both idiots. Can that be a thing? Spy thriller where both the spy and the evil villain are just complete idiots. I guess that's Austin Powers, really, isn't it? Never mind. I still love that a woman is the actual big bad villain. Hopefully it doesn't turn out that, Vocoli was the mastermind this whole time. It is a little noir, little, femme fatale, but I'll go with it. Did you hear me? I don't play chess. Never let us go. Let's again keep the spy. I'm afraid I'll win. That's why the sticks are so one-sided. I don't know what's going on. That gave her pause. She took a seat on the side of... That's her pause face. She gave pause. That gave her pause. She took a seat on her side of the board. Then let's say you win. What do you want for it? Thank you for having so many W's in your sentence. It helps me center the German accent. If I win, you let us go. If I win, you give up the name of your handlers. I want you to defect to my side. It's not how I look when I pause. It depends on what's causing me to pause. If I'm pausing because I just sat on something, might be my face. If I win, you let us go. If I win, you give up the names of your handlers. That doesn't seem helpful. But I kind of want to carry on with the spy route. Any thoughts? The pause is because the dumbass is fully in control. Yeah. The pause is because the dumbass that's fully in your control told you he's not accepting your terms for a chess match. Frame man, frame me a man. Frame man is not on my end. This is a Twitch frame man. That's a shame. Frame man can't even be bothered to come to me. After all I've done for him. Twitch man, Twitch me a man. That's something different. I think that's against terms of service. If I win, you let us go. If I win, you give up the names of your handlers. I think the handlers one might lead to handlers. What handlers moment? I'm kind of interested because I don't really know anything about her other than that she's a Nazi. So I don't know. Let's go with it. Whatever. Ah, quite a committed spy, aren't you? Very well then. If you win, I will sell the old fools out. The board was ready. The Fraulein's face was blank and stern. Look at that stern face. She'd have made a good card player. I know a little bit of baseball. What? But if you lose, I will kill your boss. As you will pay for both of your lives. A pawn stepped out onto the board with a slight magnetic click, like the sound of a safety catch being removed. White King's pawns to the center. Your move, Herr Smith. Same pawn, same move. The horse, you know, out in front. The goat one, move that. I mean, I have to, right? It kind of goes against the spy thing. The goat one, move the goat one. The Fraulein hooted with laughter. Smith! Louisa quivered, suddenly afraid. Please tell me you know what the pieces are called. Sorry. Smith, please tell me you know what the pieces are called. Don't be too hard on him, the Fraulein said. She pulled my pawn forward. You can't even see the board properly from that chair. King's bishop to knight's fire, Smith. Louisa strained at the ropes with her wrists. She couldn't see the board either. At least let Louisa see the board, Fraulein. I mean, she's smart. She can tell me what to do. There's no goat option, so we'll go with that. Vise, there's nothing to see yet. Now play! Bring out my queen, put her somewhere sensible. Knight forward somewhere. Bishop, do something useful with it. Knight, sure. That's a good move. Well, considering the alternatives. Fraulein moved my piece, then quickly responded, advancing another of her pawns. There was no way I was going to win the game, Aubrey. I was playing in the dark. You must be wondering how we acquired this bunker, the wolf remarked casually, leaning back in her chair while she awaited my move. From the redoubtable Swiss army, no less. They built these places to defend themselves against us. You're hoping Louisa will talk, she'll need to see how badly I'm doing. That's true. That's a good point. Fraulein considered this. All right. You can watch your champion fail. Pulling a knife from her belt, Wolf slit the ropes around Louisa's wrists. She then leant down, hovering the knife point in Louisa's face. But no talking. Louisa gave a tiny nod. Wolf returned to her chair. Still your moves, miss. Jump the knight on the left there. Bishop to near where my knight is. Bring out my queen, put her somewhere sensible. This one seems more specific. I'll go with that. I would use this one.
Rubbing her wrists, Louisa approached the board. Her face quickly became a picture of horror. I know, the Fraulein enthused. Is simply useless, isn't she? And I leapt out into the middle of the board. Louisa clicked her tongue, but then almost too quickly to notice she held up a little finger, wiggled it, and looked sharply away. A moment later, she did it again. Pawn? I guess. My assumption is she's trying to communicate to me what to do, right? Little fingers like pawn, right? I guess. What kind of genius do you think we are that we can play blind chess? On move the bishop, I think. Protect the bishop with a knight. Pawn? That makes sense. Yeah, you think pawn. Louisa likes you once more. Let's use this one, shall we? Louisa was flashing me all of a sudden, flashing me a sudden, unexpected smile. The Fraulein thought for a moment. She advanced another pawn. Louisa frowned. It was too generous of this gift of theirs, don't you think? Wolf remarked. They left it undefended, but it is well built, excellently positioned. Your left flank is exposed, by the way. You're underestimating the Swiss. I haven't been told what to do yet, so I'll just wait. Do you think? She wasn't convinced. You might be wondering what good a base in the Alps is. Wolf rolled a captured piece between her fingers. She captured a piece. You see, it's a good place for the back door. She pointed down significantly. She stifled a yawn. Your move. What? A back door? Down? Is this demons? Are they going to turn out that her handlers are demons? Pawn again? I don't... advance the knight's pawn. Bring out my rook. Such confusion. I don't know. Advance the knight's pawn. Bring out my rook. Advance the knight's pawn. Advance the knight's pawn. The Fraulein played the move for me. Louisa nodded slightly. It must have been a good move. The Fraulein paused and then chose a move. Her bishop took mine. Superior tactics will always win the day. Bring out my queen, but it's almost sensible. Bring out my rook. Bring out another pawn. I don't know. More pawns! Every pawn. She played the move. Louisa shook her head furiously, but it was too late to take it back. The Fraulein fell silent. White's back line was clear enough to castle. Wolf brought her rook into play. I could see Louisa was thinking quickly. Then she quickly held up two fingers crossed. Castling, I guess. Right? No? Okay, queen. Can I bring... What? Castling? What? Two fingers crossed? Louisa, please be more clear. I'm gonna guess it's to do with castle. Light's backline was clear enough to castle. No, I'm not white. I'm black. So I can't castle. I don't know. Rook castle. Two fingers crossed. I don't understand. Rook, I guess? Advance the queens, but these aren't changed. The pawns are changing. These are the same prompt words. Well, like bishop, but that's not an option. Two fingers crossed looks almost like a rook.
I'd say it looks a little bit more like a queen. So it goes thinner in the middle and bigger at the top. This feels more specific. The words of this, advance the queen's pawn, is specific. Whereas bring out my rook and bring out my queen, put her somewhere sensible. That doesn't seem right. That seems very vague. Well, should we flip a coin? Do I have a coin? I don't have a coin. I don't know. She would use the little finger for the pawn again, right? And that doesn't seem likely. So let's say rook. Right? Let's say rook. We'll see. Fraulein paved the move for me. Chappelle, Louisa cursed softly. I screwed it up. Yay. The Fraulein merely glanced down before playing again. Her knight took mine. You will find you cannot win against an overwhelming force. Jump the knight on the left there, bring out the queen, put it somewhere sensible. Bishop, do something useful with it. 5D chess, cross as in a graveyard cross. It just means I'm dead. I hate this. This seems more specific, I guess. The knight on the left. Fraulein responded quickly. She developed another pawn. Things were not going well. Louisa's eyes flickered across the board. She wiggled her finger again. That's pawn. Advance the knight's pawn. Which pawn's this one? All right. Very gently, Louisa nodded. The Fraulein thought for a moment. Her bishop retreated. Louisa's eyes scanned the ranks and files of the board. Then she held up one hand on top of her head, fingers pointing upwards. The Fraulein peered around and Louisa quickly pretended to be adjusting her hair. Queen? No, bishop? Must be bishop, right? Pointing upwards, heaven, got a hat. Bishop hat, head, bishop. Right? That makes sense? Wish there was a save point before the chess game. I think we could probably turn it off and on again, but I think we'll be fine. Louisa's losing faith in me. Great, wonderful. She praised the move, Louisa winced. It was a bit, what? Bishop made more sense. She played the move, Louisa winced. The Fraulein paused, then chose the move. Her rook advanced. If I still win this, she's terrible at chess. Louisa narrowed her eyes. We're going to blow a tunnel, Smith. Isn't that marvelous? A tunnel on the way to Zurich. Then we will pour down into Switzerland by the tens of thousands. We'll capture the castle, so to speak. Is that so? Oh yes, she beamed. We've been shipping dynamite here for nearly 10 years, you know. Some quietly stolen from the work they did building that charming railway through the Jungfrau. Other places too, I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce the names of the places here either. We're both in the same boat, really. She smiled. What's next? Look forwards, advance the queen's pawn, knight forward somewhere. I don't have any hints. The bishop looks like a screaming clown in profile. I'll have to wait and see. Rook forwards. The Fraulein played the move for me. Louisa was watching the board intently. The Fraulein fell silent. Her knight took mine. We will crush you in 4 moves. In 24, it doesn't matter. The outcome is inevitable. It does, doesn't it? Or like a sea lion balancing a ball that's just having an existential crisis. But I get the impression. Bishop do something useful with it. Knock over the king, I'm done. Bishop. She played the move. Fraulein thought for a moment. She advanced another pawn. Louisa narrowed her eyes. She was clearly running out of hand gestures, and she'd reached both hands in front of her and pretended to ride a horse. Took the bishop with the knight. How has Fraulein not noticed this? The Fraulein played the move for me, and Louisa allowed herself another quick smile. Wolf was intent on the board now. Her bishop took mine. Louisa, you could probably knock her out at this point. She's not paying attention. Crab claw balancing a ball. So what we have learned is that clowns are crab claws in disguise. Advance the queen's pawn. Sure. She played the move. Wolf was concentrating hard. Her castle slid sideways. She didn't slide it. It was really weird.
Louisa nodded with satisfaction. She stood up tall and straight on a tiptoe for a moment. Castle Rook, I guess? Tall? Like a castle's tall? That one's the rook, makes sense? You're annoyed at me. Wolf was in, Fraulein paid the move, Louisa nodded. Okay. Wolf was intent on the board now, and she had taken her eyes off Louisa entirely. Carefully, silently, the Italian woman had lifted the little Mauser from where Fraulein had put it down. The Fraulein nodded firmly. Her knight took mine. You probably saw our dynamite near the gate on your way in. I hope the men weren't being so rough with you that you didn't get to see it. Remarkable. There's not enough dynamite to blow a path all the way to Zurich. Not yet, but progress marches forwards. It does not turn back. The Fraulein was looking supremely confident. Eyes screwed shut, Louisa swung as hard as she could. It was glorious. The Mauser butt connected with Wolf's skull with a sickening crack. The Fraulein was knocked sprawling across the board. The chair upended, pieces scattered in all directions. All her talk of superior force, Louisa sneered, but she forgot about international collaboration. Ba-da-ba. That queen takes the white queen, I remarked. Good shot. What's your follow through? Yeah, that queen takes the white queen. Louisa likes me once more. She's very up and down with me, which is fair. Time for the Black Knight to get moving, I think. Frisking the that's probably me, I don't know. Frisking the prone Fraulein, Louisa located her knife and sliced me loose. Gone was the distracted girl I'd rescued in Bellinzona. She was rescuing me now. A moment later, we were out of the door. I took the White Queen with me, and as we ran, for old time's sake, Aubrey. She likes us when we're not being a complete clown, or bishop, as they're also known. Okay, are we running? Are we running out of here, or is there more to do? No? Okay, there's more to do, apparently. Oh, red alert! Red alert! It wasn't hard to scuttle quietly past the guards without being spotted. The Germans seemed to run the place with a skeleton staff. We reached the front of the chamber of the bunker. On the wall beside the outer door was a large metal lever labelled Achtung. She'll be back on her feet soon, I said, looking back down the corridor. We could have tied her up. I threw it. I started with the stash of dynamite I'd seen by the door. Dynamite? There was a rope, presumably, with which we were tied, yeah. Unless she cut every single strand of the rope. And there was no spare rope in the room. Should we go for dynamite? Or should we pull the lever? Of course, there's more to do. We need to see if Wholesome Dad is okay. True. Good point. I meant here. I thought we were running away. I thought we'd run to a different location. Not sure you want to throw open a door that says warning. Yeah, let's look for the stash of dynamite. But Louisa grabbed my arm. Murder? Are you mad, Smith? We're in a sealed metal chamber. The explosion would rip us to shreds. Should make a good engineer one day, that one. One day, that one. One day, that one. The day, one. Louisa threw the lever. Lever. The door began to rise, accompanied by an ear-splitting grinding of gears that echoed throughout the walls. They'll hear that, Louisa shouted. Sorry. They'll hear that, Louisa shouted. She was all ready to crawl under the half-open gate. Let's go. We needed something to even the odds. Outrunning armed guards on ice seemed impossible. Took the mouse from Louisa and turned grimly to await the guards. Not my style. We needed something to even the odds. Outrunning the guards on ice seemed impossible. That seems... yeah. I cast about for options, saw none. Over here, Louisa called out. She had thrown back a tarpaulin to reveal a group of rust bucket machines on treads lined up in the corner. Louisa caught my blank expression. Snowmobiles, she exclaimed. My uncle repairs them in his shop. Quick, you know far too much. Do they even still work? How fast does the snowmobile go? Do you know how to drive one? Louisa would make a good spy. Yeah, I'm thinking that. Do they even still work? If they're Swiss-made, they'll work. She jumped into the front seat. Get on! I grasped her waist as she started the engine, and we lurched forward onto the ice. I felt her hand reach backwards into my coat pocket. She was giving me the Mauser. You keep that. We roared away from the bunker at the decent 8 miles an hour, slow but fast enough to get far away. Because there had been nothing to stop us setting a dynamite fuse after we had the gate open. Okay. Okay, we're still not leaving. Oh, we did do it. Okay, we did set dynamite. That's what I was trying to do. We're the dams in distress. Louisa is the spy. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Hang on a minute, I thought she was driving. The sun was high in the sky. It stared down through the ice-clear air, turning the glacier into a blinding lake of light. And we were chuffing along on a machine made out of biscuit tins and rubber piping. Hold on, we're in the back. For a while, we wove a path avoiding shrapnel and rock shards from the explosion. I clung onto Louisa and enjoyed the ride. Yeah, we're on the back. She was steering intently to avoid the shrapnel from the explosion. The machine we were riding was little better than the groundsman. She was doing great. One strike would have been enough to finish us. The snowmobile would have flipped through the air like a roller coaster car. But then we were through, and out to the open ice. My eyes were on the mountains ahead, looking for paths and passes. Having fun, I shouted. How much further, I shouted, thinking of Louisa's terrific memory for maps. Yeah, you're smart. How much further? Half an hour. Valley turns a corner, and then the glacier ends. Then I felt Louisa stiffen. There's someone coming after us. She must have seen them in the mirror attached to the snow shield. I twisted in my seat to look. On a snowmobile? I asked. If they were driving, they'd be no faster than us. Ski. Well, the dam's in distress now. Shove off, Louisa. The only thing we got going for us is our looks. Have you seen our sexy, massive chin? We were running out of glacier. Louisa swerved to a halt on the southern edge of the valley. We clambered, bandy-legged from the machine. A mountain towered above us. That's the Eggshorn, Louisa said. There's a cable car stop just behind the peak. They installed the lines last year, apparently. We can ride it down to the valley on the other side. I didn't need to ask how she knew. Cable car's a fairly visible way to travel. We'd be exposed. That is true. Rocket skis. Skis aren't faster than a snowmobile. If our snowmobile is made of tins, might be. It is exposed. I looked to the north side of the mountain where a slow saddle joined the Eggshorn with the next peak along. Or we could climb around the peak that way, I continued. It's a longer road, but an easier climb. I cast a look back at the swooping dark figure behind. It was closing on us fast. Choice, though. What do we do? Cable car or wibbly wobbly windy? We're not going to feature, apparently. Oh, over the Alps. That's the name of the game. Oh, Peninsula and Zurich and Rheinfall. Might be the last part of the game. What do we want to do? Do we want to go cable car? Or do we want to do wibbly wobbly hikey? To be fair, wibbly wobbly hikey has done us good so far. We did get chased by dogs once, but that's not the point. Cable car sounds very booby trapped. That's what I was thinking, just cut the cable, you know? Cable car seems very enclosed. I think hike. Let's do hike. The hike around the Eggshorn was gentle enough, pleasant if it weren't for the dark figure and the glacier below. We passed a small lake fed by a trickling stream from above. Louisa paused to rinse off the clads of earth and stones that were stuck to the heels of her boots. The view is beautiful, Louisa enthused. It's as good as in a painting. Rather better, I should think. You should take a photograph of it. I'm intrigued by that one. She looked at me perplexed. I tapped my forehead. Oh, said Louisa and laughed. Well, I already have. Her memory, I guess, is the reference. I let her point out the details to me as we went. A snowy peak here, a distant waterfall there, that sort of thing. I saw it all for the first time again, through her eyes. As we neared the ridgetop, Louisa stopped to catch her breath and looked back down. She's gone, I think. But no, I could see her. Instead of going around like we'd done, the Fraulein was hiking directly up the Eggershorn itself. From this distance, her stride seemed impossibly fast. She's lost our trail. Should be exhausted by the time she gets up there. Why is she going up there? We're down here. Presumably she wants to come back down. Why is she going up there? We're down here. Louisa grimaced. The cable car. She's going to come down on the cable car and get ahead of us. She's trying to cut us off. If she's taking the cable car, then she's helpless. She's going to chase us in a cable car? She won't be exhausted. She's the Winter Soldier. Good point. I smiled at the idea. All we have to do is get to the lower station before she does and shut it off. We walked faster. That's what I thought they were going to do to us. Get there quickly. Then she ziplines down the... The Fraulein's cable car floated down to the mountainside like a menacing spectre. I could imagine her inside, pacing in her cage. But we reached the interchange station before she landed. We raced for the second station and the next car. Then we set about sabotaging her approach. We need something to jam in the wheel, Louisa shouted, and quickly! The whole place was automated. The wheel was spoked and turned within a snug, well-oiled metal channel. Let's just get out of here, we're still ahead of her. Any ideas, Louisa? I pulled the chess piece from my pocket, the White Queen. Give it a go, why not? A thick tapering cylinder of metal. It was metal, wasn't it? That's a good point. I thrust it into the narrow channel. The wheel sucked it in and then began grinding down on top of it. The machinery sparked and groaned. And then, beautifully, it stuck. Fraulein's car swung to a halt. The result was glorious. We should do this to all Nazis, Aubrey. Hang them on cables in midair. Okay. Keep it straightforward. You have jammed to the Fraulein's cable car. I think there's enough cable cars for that. Probably not. She was in midair some 15 feet above the top of a tree. Her silhouette inside the car froze. Then the door stood open and the Fraulein began yelling German expletives at the top of her lungs. Shame we can't send her even higher, I mused. Shoot all the Nazis off into space. Don't think it'll hold her for long. Yeah, she'll probably climb down or something. Don't think it will hold her for long. We better keep going. Boom. Or not. Or we're going to stay here. Oh, we're going on to the next cable car thing, I guess. Don't think she means hanging in cable cars. Yeah. The second cable car gently swayed us down the mountainside. It was like being in a floating cradle. Gently. Cradle music. We sat in silence for a time. How are you holding up? Louisa shrugged. Well enough, I suppose. I haven't stopped to find out. We sat in silence for a time. I'm so happy I got to drive a snowmobile, Louisa enthused. My uncle will be so happy when I tell him. He taught me, you'll see. Suddenly Louisa yelped and pressed her face in the glass. Shit, I don't know what that means. What is that? I looked down. Splashes of colour. Chessboard in rainbow hue. Blues, reds, greens, whites. It was as though somebody had spread out a woolen quilt over the valley floor. That wasn't on the map you saw? And joined her other window peering out to make the details? Some sort of festival. See what it is. Too many colours for a chessboard. You're thinking very simple chess. You need to have coloured squares that only certain pieces can move on. But we were still too high up. Whatever the shapes were, there were people milling around them, working by the look of them. I'll leave it here for now, Aubrey, to give you a chance to solve this puzzle. Can you guess the delightful surprise that was waiting for us at the bottom of the cable line? No. Fish. Oh, hot air balloons. We're going to escape in a hot air balloon. Yes. Let's go. Balloons. Hot air balloons, to be precise. We had somehow stumbled into the middle of the Fish Festival of Hot Air Balloonery. Balloonery is a wonderful word. I don't think I've ever heard it before, but it's good. There wasn't a moment to lose. How do you feel about heights? Seems rather too good an opportunity to waste, don't you think? When you start having heart palpitations for no reason and you're like, what? What is happening? What do I need to look out for? Oh no. Occasionally just loud music. Well, if that is you, oobs, hopefully it fades quickly, at least. Heart palpitations, that's me. No! I have no helpful advice. I just hope it calms. This seems rather a good too good an opportunity to waste. Let's go, Louisa cried. Oh, you've changed. We raced down the track from the cable car station, then hopped a fence into a field where the first of the balloons was laid out. The burner was on and the balloon was starting to fill. As we approached the owner, he was sitting on the grass beside a basket, smoking a pipe. There was no time for discussion with the man. I pulled out the gun. No, let's have a chat. Quickly, man, we're escaping from Nazis. I'll pay you 100 francs for the balloon. One sharp blow to the back of his head was enough to send him into the grass. Possibly, that makes sense. I don't know. Quickly, man, we're escaping from Nazis.
Nazis?
The man jumped to his feet.
I despise Nazis!
He was a good salt. Good salt? Good sort. Herr Gaspar. He helped us both into the basket of his balloon without further ado. I glanced back up the mountainside. Perhaps the Fraulein was still stuck in midair, higher up. If not, she would be on her way down. She would have no qualms about putting a bullet in our heads, or one in our balloon. And the balloon was still inflating. Fraulein Wolf is in the cable car. Took a moment to shake the balloonist's hand. Maybe he'll do something about the cable car? This is the first non-small-faced person, also. He's still compared to the whole head. Yeah, it's just the nose that's doing most of the work here. And being very clear, you think it's not happening now. This is when the sudden suspenseful music reminded you of. Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, maybe he'll go and sabotage the cable car for us. I wish she'd give up. Yeah, I wish she'd give up. She won't, I replied. She doesn't like to lose. Hot air balloon, Aubrey, is a magical thing. The ground below just gives up on you. Gravity lets go and the earth drifts away. First an inch, then a yard, then up and up. And an indulgent form of transport, a folly of follies. The first fellow who tried this must have been brave. The cable car had reached the ground. I saw a limping figure emerge. Be careful. Bless the Fraulein, she shook a little fist up at us as we left her behind. We're free! Louisa cried out to the sky. We're free! I put my arm around her waist to steady her, Aubrey, in case she leaned too far over the edge of the basket. She even leant a little back against me, just for safety, you understand. We really are free of her now. Oh, sorry. We really are free of her now, she breathed, still gazing out of the view. Free! Gunshot. Oh, we have a gun, so that's probably a bit of an issue. Off we go. Over the Alps. It's the name of the game. Wasn't like one of the first games this company did around the world in 80 days. I think they like hot air balloons. Although in the original novel, didn't they not use a hot air balloon? Anyway, what's going to happen? I'm sure the story is far from over. Let's go. Yep, that's how hot air balloons work. Just point it forwards and it flies. Blue-green with white peaks, the Alps spread like a frozen sea below us. The Aletsch Glacier was long stripe, dotted with the detritus from the bunker explosion. Louisa pointed out to the observatory, winking like a jewel. Then the long curved valley of Ambri. Perhaps even that little chapel above Airolo. The sort of place the chap might get married. I hope Papa's alright. Did you see what happened in Gershenen? He'll be in Zurich already, I'm sure. Try not to worry. Try not to worry, I guess. Not much use up here, I suppose, she agreed. The world looks so very small from up here, doesn't it? It's a pity we have to fight over it. We drifted on, soaring even higher. Ever higher. How does one wink like a jewel? Yeah, no, I've got nothing. I was sure there was a... I thought I had a joke, but I didn't. Also, is the fire in the basket with us? It's just a really tall basket, or the fire's just really low. Like in cartoons when somebody winks and they get a little sparkle. Ding. Phew. Luckily, the wind was going in the right direction. You've checked she's not hanging on to the ballast ropes? I've checked. Wait. I wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't either. She's not there. I'm going to check myself. If you fall off. It's a long journey. Oh, he's in here with us. That's nice. We didn't steal it from someone. For a change, we didn't steal a vehicle. Herr Gaspar leant over the side and spat. He watched the spittle fall, then nodded. Can't remember your voice. A good northeast current. I'll take us down. We drifted lower into a current of air that grasped us and whisked us forward so quickly that Gaspar's moustaches, he has multiple moustaches, began to waffle in the wind. Memory like yours, Louisa, would be invaluable in a war? Yeah. You saw something in Milan, something you weren't supposed to see. Should we ask about this? Is this the time to ask? That's why it's so full. Yeah, they're just stacked on top of each other. Reminds me of that shut up and sit down thing. Like, taking off the disguise, rip off the moustache to reveal a smaller moustache. Where does one moustache end and the other begin? How long is a piece of string? Do we want answers, or should we just leave it? Should we just go? I'm not going to be aggressive about it. I don't know. What should we do? Should we ask her about why she's here in the first place, or should we just be quiet and let the trip happen? Are we going to start doing our job now? I thought we were getting comfortable in the role of damsel in distress. As always. Is the left side of one moustache and the right side of the other? Is it like a pair of trousers? Where it's just like... It's called a pair of trousers, but it's one thing. Because both sides, I guess, are a trouser. So is a moustache one half? We must ask these questions. She seems good, so why ask? I guess let's just try not to annoy her. The wind carried us on. Don't want it to seem like I know or I want the information. The sun was touching the mountains to the west, spreading honey across snow-capped peaks. We really like honey. What made you come for me? You might have died, said Louisa. Am I really worth that much to your government? The question was uncomfortable, but fair. I had to come. It was my fault you were caught. I really don't know or care anymore. I mean, it was my fault. I'm an idiot. It was that as much as anything else, a sense of honor, or perhaps I simply don't like to fail. You may think what you like about my being a spy, but... Oh, sorry. You may think what you like about my being a spy, but I'm still a man, Louisa. A damsel man. A mansel. And then, Aubrey, the mountains were quite suddenly gone. We were flying over farmland and low country.
I'll set us down by the Zurich Sea,
Gaspar said. He's gasping for air. Gasp air.
There is a place I know beside the water. A lake. I like lakes,
Louisa said. Barely likes us as it is. I think she does like us, doesn't she? I like keeping track of things. I'm sure there was a thing. There is not a thing. Never mind, more balloon. Ladsel. The balloon settled to the earth on a patch of empty land within spitting distance of the water's edge. There was a low rocky outcrop jutting out into the lake. A cosy log cabin was built above it on stilts that rose from the reeds.
This is my aunt's guest house,
Herr Gaspar said.
You should stay here. She makes excellent fondue.
I thanked him. He's been nice. Louisa kissed him on both cheeks out of gratitude, but probably also from sheer relief.
Your balloon is beautiful,
she gushed, and the man glowed with pride, underneath all his moustaches. Then he scrambled out of the basket and all but fell onto the grass.
The ground feels very strange. Once you've been a bird,
Gaspar observed, pulling out his pipe delighted.
Why would you be anything else?
Poetic poppycock. Perhaps if we were birds, Aubrey, we would see the nations for the fictions they really are. Poetry. From the sky, we'd only see rivers and mountains, not borders and checkpoints. Perhaps one day people will routinely fly about in balloons and aeroplanes, and the divisions between peoples will become a distant memory. Oh, it's a hopeful game. I went to find Gaspar's aunt to talk to her about a room. Being reminded of how angry you are about sea being German for lake instead of, sea. It's not daytime. And there's a nice car as well. All's good. Wibbly wobbly moon. There was a little jetty in front of the cabin. We were by an international airport. We were sitting together looking out over the lake. Stars filled the sky and flooded the surface of the water. Louisa had her arms hugged around her knees.
She told me she would kill me.
I said nothing.
She kept trying to scare me. There were things she said she would do to me.
She spoke quietly.
But I couldn't hear anything. I don't know anything.
Not that quietly.
But I couldn't tell her anything. I don't know anything. I only said I did because I wanted you to help my papa and I.
So there it was, the truth. I knew Control wouldn't like it, but I was glad. I cursed silently. All this for nothing. I said I did because I wanted you to help Papa. I was glad. It was safer for Louisa, and I hadn't been looking forward to handing her over anyway. But I said nothing, just listened. I tried to tell her she had it wrong.
I tried to tell her she had it wrong, that it was all a mistake, but she kept threatening me and asking me the same questions over and over, like a machine.
Like both of the options were nothing, but one was rude and the other was kind. All three of them, one of them was just bland. You're a bad spy, but a good person. Yay. I sat there silent, rudely. I raised both middle fingers and sneered. That's the way they're told to do it. It's alright, you're free now. Nothing personal. I just want to be nice, but being nice has historically been bad in this game. People get run over if I'm nice. That's the way they're told to do it. I mean, this seems somewhat patronizing. It's fine, stop worrying about it. Stop complaining. I don't know. Let's try and be nice. It's alright, you're free now.
Am I, though? She didn't seem as though she would ever give up.
The words drifted across the lake and disappeared.
I'm cold, Mr. Smith.
I'm here, I'll keep you warm. We should go inside. We should go inside.
No, I don't want to. No, don't want to.
Bad dog. What? We should just get rid of grammar like you're talking to a pet. She turned to glare at me with hot, angry eyes. Tell me something, Smith. Would you say you were a good man? A man of honor? I would say so, yes. Not really, no. I think so. I've tried to be in this game. I've been bad at it, but I've tried. Always tried to be nice, but never failed to be kind. Indeed. If you fail to be kind, lean into the punch. I would say so. So I held her, and she cried. Then when she had finished crying, we just sat there and looked up at the stars. Thank you, she whispered, probably less horribly than that. War tipped to be over by Christmas. Yeah, sure. As British warplanes bombed German naval targets, some experts predict a swift end to the German aggression on the continent. It is expected that the conflict in the scale of the years-long Great War of 1914 may be avoided through decisive and rapid military action. Great. Is she dying? Yes, that was a death rattle. It's fine. We drive through the night. That's good. Gaspar's aunt, Helga. Hi, you look nice. Had a car that once belonged to her husband. She was happy for us to use it. I will crash. I hope you don't mind. Aunt Helga clasped her hands in turn as we left. Newly ones, she sniffed, her eyes moist. In such dark and difficult days. She waved a handkerchief as we drove away. It's a cover, I guess. It was early morning, still dark. Did she evaporate into the night? Louisa twisted in her seat to wave back until we were out of sight. I think we fooled her, she concluded. Yes, we were very convincing, I smiled back. Stretch. Posture. Off we go. To Zurich. Finally, bloody Zurich. The road followed the lake shore into the city. The story's not over yet. We've crashed the car. This is the road to Zurich, Louisa remarked. It's only a couple of miles. You sure this is where you want to go? Have you ever been... It's a rather dour place to think. It's only a couple of miles, I guess. Yeah, it's not far. You don't need to tell me that, she grinned. There was a map in the cabin. Aubrey, I shall miss this curious girl and her marvellous mind. Of course we fooled her. I told you I make a very convincing ladsel. I found myself driving slowly. Perhaps I was finally able to enjoy the sights of the journey that the journey had to offer. Wanted to spend every last second with Louisa that I could. Perhaps I was still on the lookout for a possible attack. I was not relishing dressing down from control, amongst other things. Look at the sights. It's lovely scenery. Perhaps I felt I had unfinished business in the wilds of Switzerland. But Louisa's journey was at an end. Yeah, sure. She was eager to reach Zurich and could talk of little but seeing her father. I hope he's not too sore. He'll have been well enough to take the train to Zurich, won't he? I hope so. Oh yes, they have good doctors in Switzerland. We'll know soon enough. Hope so. The fact was, we were already there. You're right there. We were passing through the suburbs of Zurich, built up along the lakefront. Or the seafront, as they call it in Germany. The scent of flowers and horse dung was fading away into the fumes of cars and coffee. From the Alps, we had emerged back into what some call civilization, but I don't know what I call it anymore. Europe is at war. War! The beer house. And a cafe. And the boom. And Boyd's. Click, clickety, click. Boyd's. Please don't be dead. We'll see. We checked into the Hotel St. Augustine under the name of Mr. and Mrs. Elling. I like the feel of signing it, Aubrey. Just married, I enthused to the concierge. We are eloping, I murmured, so please don't tell anyone we're here. This is to be spy. Just in case, you never know. Should we do that? That feels a bit too suspicious. Bloomin', they're selling flowers there probably? Oh, yeah, Bloom, I guess. Little flower booth. Oh. We're learning things. I like the feel of signing. It's just a bit creepy. Just married. I'm gonna do this one because it's, I don't know. Spy-ish. Spy-ish? Spy it up. Ooh.
Say no more, he replied. You may count upon our discretion.
That's a classic Swiss accent. The porter showed us to our room. I gave him a franc, and he backed out with a smile. Louisa was already inspecting the contents of the room, from the embroidered lampshades by the bed to the hotel stationery in the desk on the desk in the corner. I've never been in a real hotel like this before. No, I can't imagine that she had, apart from the one that we were in at the beginning of the stream. A restaurateur's daughter. What? Can't imagine that she had a restaurateur's hotel. Whatever. Summer had ended somewhere in the mountains, and the September air blowing from the lake was cold. After inspecting the curtains, Louisa pushed the window shut. So what do we do now? Ask around to see if your father's arrived. Stay put for now until I've scouted the area. I mean, the story's not over. Right. We would have found the dad, the story would the end. Like, Wolf is still following us. Either way, it looks like I'm leaving her alone, which is a terrible idea. That's my favourite thing on Twitter. It's 1st of October, everyone tweeting Billy Joel. September's ended. She's gonna get kidnapped again. Absolutely. I'll ask around to see if your father's alright. Sure. This is a big city. Oh, sorry. This is a big city, like Milan. She replied uncertainly. I have people. She nodded. And I pull out a deck of, like, guess who faces. I suppose I should stay here then, out of sight. I put my hat on. I'll be back within the hour, I should think. Sure. I paused a moment to look at her in the... I paused a moment to look at her through the open door as I left the room. My Mrs. Elling sprawled on the bed, shoes dangling from her toes, low sunlight streaming in around her. A moment of perfect beauty. The same feeling as I'd had in the hot balloon. The ground falling away, my heart lifting towards soft clouds. She's 12 years younger than me, but don't worry about it. Anyone for flowers? Beer house? Beer house. Oh, hey, this is a guy. Or we're going to get kidnapped, which will conclude our transformation into Ladsel in distress and Louisa's transformation into our saviour spy. Getting myself picked up by the local police was simple enough. I'm fairly sure I'd even recognise one of the men who nabbed me. The beer house was not as empty as the one in Rivera, but it still offered a good selection of dank corners. Ugh, dank. What was this guy's voice? Oh, whatever. Ah, there you are, Smith, my friend began. Well done, old man. You've done a good job not rousing suspicion while you've been here, he remarked. I need your help with a few matters. Got the Italian girl with me? I do need your help. I need to find a guy. Need your help with a few matters. Really? You go on. The Italian girls know something, but I'm not sure what. The Nazis had occupied a disused military bunker high in the Alps. That's probably quite important. We left the German agent in the Central Alps, but she'll be coming after us. I guess British intelligence would probably want to know about a Nazi base in the Alps, right? The agent's probably the most pressing concern for us? Military bunker seems like important info. Yeah, I probably should tell them about that. Nazis as an occupied disused... Yeah. Had? I blew it up. Good man! Italian girl knows something. The Nazis planning for tunnel from the bunker to Zurich. That was also important. Took a tunnel all the way to Zurich? The cigarette shook with laughter. Ha ha ha! When the Nazis have well and truly lost their marbles, I suppose we'll be hearing that they've sent their agents to look out for the Holy Grail next. They have. The cigarette pondered for a moment. It was time to ask. I need papers for Louisa to get her to France. You don't, actually. You'll be handing her off to our boys here in Zurich. That's what Control thinks is best. I want her to cross the border. It'll be safer for her. Will she talk to them, though? It's me she trusts. I want her to cross the border. I want her across the border. It will be safer for her. Feeling paternal, oh yeah. The cigarette flared for a final time, then it was stubbed out. It's still a no from me, I'm afraid. I heard a chair scrape back. You've not proven yourself up to the task, not from what I've seen of you. There was a real menace to his tone. Sorry. You've not proven yourself up to the task, not from what I've seen of you. Is that menace? It's the Phantom Menace. Leave the girl here and walk away. You're done. We'll be in touch. Paternal, married, you're getting very mixed and concerning signals from this game. We are, what was it, 12, 13 years older than now? That's a good sign. I rode the elevators to the first floor. I wanted to use every minute I had left. I pushed open the door to the room. First thing I saw was a curtain, flicking in and out of the open window in the breeze. Went to close it. Louisa? I stepped silently into the room. Could be quiet. One step, two. My shoes crunched on something. Broken glass. The window had been smashed. There was a trace of blood near the frame. Stuck my head out into the alley. The knife scraped my neck. I died. Loss of blood. I jumped through the open window. I could picture it exactly. The Fraulein had come up the fire escape, waited for Louisa to sit on the window bench. Perhaps Louisa had been brushing her hair. Why does that matter? Then she had punched through the glass and grabbed Louisa around the neck, dragged her backwards and away down the fire escape stairs. I heard the roar of an engine, the squeal of a car cornering too fast. I was out of the hotel and into the car of my own before the echoes had faded. I mean, we knew this was going to happen, right? We drove north at breakneck pace. Boom. To the Rheinfall. The Reichenbach Falls. Let's go. We did not crash the car. Rheinfall. Ba-da-ba-da. Oh, the castle. Vum. Oh, almost crashed into the lake. Quick one, Aubrey. She drove north about an hour. Yeah, we are writing postcards as this happens. While we're driving. That's why we keep crashing the car. She drove north about an hour, and then she came off the main road after Daxon. Daxon, that sausage dog. On the slower road, I dropped back. Wanted her to think I'd overshot. She's parked at the Rheinfalls waterfall, right on the border. There's a narrow bridge behind the castle. It's as good a place as any for this. Narrow bridge behind the castle. Goes all the way into Germany. Tiny guard post, quite possibly in the pay. Can't see her. She must be near the bridge. Not sure what she's waiting for. Still persuading Louisa not to scream for help, or giving her one last chance to talk on neutral ground. If I get a clean shot with the Mauser, I'll take it. Should have killed her back in Monte Serini when I had the chance. Well, these are all aggressive. Look at that. Now here, the price will be higher. Here we'll be going out together over the edge into the water. I'll give this to a passerby. Ah, there's a few about holding picnics at the falls. Ha! Tell C they're going to need to be sharper quicker. Nice writing to you, Aubrey. It is nice writing to you, Aubrey. We're doing a proper Sherlock Holmes. My regards to your charming wife. Is that the end? Zurich, Happy New Year! We wish all our readers a Happy New Year as we eagerly look forward to the end of the war. 1939. For many Britons, this New Year's celebrations will be their last chance to enjoy some of their favourite foods, following an announcement of plans to expand rationing to butter, bacon and sugar. Oh, we're back in Zurich. Cool.
Dear Aubrey, your friend told me to write you if anything should happen to him. I found your address inside the lining of his hat, along with stamps and metal cartridges of ink. He kept a whole post office up here. He was, I think, a good man. He used a lot of stamps. He told me he was, but I didn't believe him at the time. He was a romantic, your friend. If he weren't a spy, I think he would have liked to be a knight, like a fairy tale. Although we really couldn't tell. The knight was the only chess piece he actually managed to get the mime for, so I'm not entirely sure he would be smart enough for that. He could be impatient. I once told him I was too tired to think, and he berated me for it. But that's all right. I berated him quite a lot as well. I think we liked that about one another. I don't know who you are, Aubrey. I assume we're his friend. So was I, in the end. He would want you to raise a glass of something in memory of him. He liked reds more than whites. He was going to... This sounds vaguely racist. He was going to start a vineyard. Did you know that? He'd already brought the land. You deserve to know how he died. He fought until the very last moment, held that horrid woman under the water, even though it meant staying under there himself. Don't come looking for him, Aubrey. He's gone. I see how this story's ending. I know you'll want to, but I'm asking you not to. Yeah, I hope you'll understand why.
I'm going to go somewhere where I can build a wine press and tend vines, as far away from the water as possible. One day I'll send you a case. Ah, that's where the postcard's in the case of wine, yeah. Take care, my friend. Hey, we dead? I mean, Control was angry with us, and, you know, they would have been very mad if we'd come back, and they would have stripped us of our job, and, yeah, but if we happen to conveniently die... Over the Alps by Stave Studios. Matthew Arneal, Joshua Gallahan, and Samuel Partridge. Good job. This was a lovely little story. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and it made me want to do ink again. Lead writer and narrative designer, Case of the Chateau Vercoli, John Ingold, King of the Mountain, Harry Tufts. Any different stories? Is there another story in this? Joshua Callahan and Claire Brooks did very nice art. The sound design was also good. Animation was nice. Wasn't too much of it, but nice. Good old programming. Music by Andy Huckvale. It was nice when it didn't loop, but Wholesome Dad reunion. Maybe we'll see. Yeah. Gear Incorporated. Translation by App Lingua. With thanks to many people with ampersands in their names. Could you put an ampersand in your name to make it look like you're two people? My middle name is And. Mog? I hope that's a cat. We live the rest of our days very happily as Louisa's housewife. Oh. Living with them on the vineyard, it's fine. Created with Unity 3D. Created with the Magic Framework. Library used ink! Told ya! Over the Alps, no person other than the developer, publisher of the Alps, commercially endorses or associated collector work fiction. Events located fictitious manner resembles actual person, coincidental studios with multiple unions, game unions, everybody unionized, inclusive teams. Code. Secret code, I guess. Is this a simple cipher, is it? Okay, well, I've written it down. There we are. That's that. I'm gonna guess that the thing says like, "Hey, I didn't die." Can we find like an internet Caesar cipher solver? Cryptogram solver? Okay, hang on. This is not interesting. I apologize, but I'm gonna get this done because I think I have ways of solving this. Anyway, did everyone like the game? Was it? Did you enjoy it? It was good. I liked it.
Um. Uh. Well, I just typed in the last couple of words. I thought was "you're welcome," but that means there's the word mole in there. Our mole. Oh. I don't know. Chess part was a bit stupid, but it was funny. It's fine. It was all half of it, but it was cute. The first half consisted of goats and cows and me being arrested too much. What? Is there a word beginning with CLE? Clem, clets, clep. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna get back to that. No, it's only 4 letters, so maybe it's not "you're welcome." Maybe it's something else. Sorry, this is extraordinarily uninteresting. I understand. Should I just stop the stream now? Oh no, that could work. Hang on. Treble clef? Time to C. Treble clef. Time to something up. Our mole, you're welcome. There's no way of working out what the rest of those words are, because all the letters are different. Okay, so it's C. C dash treble clef. Time to something I something, you something, our mole, you're welcome. How does it like pick up? Time to pick up our mole? Time to... But it's only 3 letters. C treble... Maybe hit? No, I've already used T. Anyway, end of stream. I need to stop now. Okay, so somebody's sending a message to C. Oh, Frame Man's here though. Frame Man has joined in. Yay. C treble clef. Don't know why I'm saying treble clef. Maybe that. Oh, maybe that's the cipher thing. Cipher message. I don't know. Treble clef. Time to. I don't know. Have we not used P? I'm gonna assume it's P. Something up. Time to something up our mole. You're welcome.
Interesting. Maybe there's a cipher in the game? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. Maybe someone online has solved this, so that I don't have to. What an interesting ending to the stream. Maybe if you clicked all the goats. I think I clicked all the goats. I cannot see anything on the internet. Nobody on the internet's talking about this. I will do things at some point. It's fine. I'm gonna work on stuff. You also tried to look it up online. You haven't found anything yet. Like I said, I think it does. I think it says C hyphen treble clef new line time to 3-letter word with an I in the middle. Up our mole. You're welcome. Letter. So it's a message to control, presumably. What letters don't haven't I used yet? I'm just trying all the letters. It's fine. Don't worry about it. A. We haven't used A. S. D. H. J. K. It could be a lot of possible things. Like I say, it's just a substitution cipher. I just don't know what the last few letters are. I'm going to stop now. I need to stop talking. Thank you for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the little game. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I was bad. I was a bad spy. But we were a good damsel, so it's fine. Yeah. Thanks for coming along. Tomorrow... Blah. There we are. Creative stream. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we're doing another group stream. Maybe I'll do something else. I don't know. I have nothing planned. So, yeah, maybe we'll just solve Caesar ciphers online, because why not? Creative. Thank you for good stream. Thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope those of you who didn't catch the first half still nonetheless enjoyed the second half. Yeah, and I recommend things from this publisher, and I also recommend you try out Ink, because it's free. You can get Inkle, I think Inky is the name of the piece of software you can get where you can mess around with choose your own adventure stories. It's cool. I like it. I have practiced. Yay. Cool. Have a good old time, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Let's get some music. Why not? That'll do. See you around. Look after yourselves. Be good. Have a great weekend. Have hot chocolate. Goodbye.